54 degrees. That is the temperature 6 feet beneath your yard right now. While your furnace fights to lift 15-degree winter air to 68 degrees, the ground is already holding 54 degrees for free. That gap costs you roughly $1,100 every year. The pipe that closes it costs less than 1 month of those bills. In 1991, Wolfgang Feist buried a single pipe from the yard into the basement of a building in Darmstadt. His colleagues said it would not work. That building has been monitored for over 30 years. It uses 90% less heating energy, and the pipe has never been touched. Today, 65,000 European buildings run the same system. By the end of this video, you will know how it works, why American building codes have never mentioned it, and how to install one yourself in a weekend for under $2,000. In the hills of southern Tunisia, there is a community called Matmeta. 2,000 people live there, but you cannot see where. Their homes are not on the surface. Carved into soft rock around open pits 20 to 30 feet deep, rooms cut into the walls connected by tunnels. You descend a stone ramp into a courtyard that exists entirely below grade. Surface temperatures swing from freezing to over 110 degrees. Inside, measured across multiple annual cycles, it stays 65 to 68 degrees all year. No heating, no cooling, no energy. Some structures are over 1,000 years old and still occupied. UNESCO recognized what they built, a civilization that solved climate control with a shovel and never stopped. 5,000 miles east, Persian engineers solved the same problem differently. They built qanats, underground channels running up to 100 feet deep and tens of miles long. Iran still has 376,000 kilometers of active qanat galleries today. The engineers noticed the air near the deep shafts ran dramatically cooler than the surface. They routed ventilation through those galleries before it entered living spaces. Oxford physicists who studied surviving examples measured the result: indoor temperatures 25 to 30 degrees below outside air. No electricity, no moving parts. 2 civilizations, 2 methods, the same discovery. The ground beneath your feet holds the temperature your heating system spends a fortune trying to create. The Earth is a thermal battery. Every day the sun heats the surface. Every night the ground radiates some back. At the surface, temperatures swing with every weather system. The deeper you go, the less those swings matter. By 6 feet down, in most of North America, the soil sits within 2 or 3 degrees of the mean annual temperature 12 months a year. In Boston, that means 50 to 53 degrees, whether it is -10 in January or 95 in July. A 50-degree heating advantage in winter, a 43-degree cooling advantage in summer, under every residential lot in the city, doing nothing. An earth tube captures it simple. A corrugated drainage pipe, 4 to 8 inches wide, sold at any building supply store. Buried 6 to 10 feet deep, running 50 to 200 feet under your yard before entering the house. One end connects to a screened air intake, the other to your existing ventilation system. In winter, 15-degree air travels through 150 feet of pipe surrounded by 52-degree soil and arrives at the house already at 48 degrees. Your furnace lifts incoming air 20 degrees instead of 53 degrees, roughly 60% less heating load before it fires once. In summer, the reverse. 95-degree air exits between 65 and 70 degrees. No compressor, no refrigerant, just a ventilation fan. Every peer-reviewed study finds the same: 30 to 60% less energy for heating and cooling, no moving parts. Design life exceeding 50 years. The global heating and cooling industry is worth $240 billion a year. equipment sales, maintenance contracts, energy bills. A buried pipe that cuts that work by 30 to 60% is not something anyone in that industry has a reason to sell you. Not because anyone banned it, because the system governing American construction was built by people whose revenue depends on the alternative. The International Residential Code and the International Mechanical Code, updated by committees of heating contractors, equipment manufacturers, and industry representatives, have never included earth tubes in their compliance sections. A builder who wants one must apply under alternate means and methods. Engineering documentation, plan review fees of $2,000 to $6,000, and inspections by officials who may never have seen the technology. In most jurisdictions, the paperwork costs more than the pipe. No licensing category covers installation. No insurance policy covers it. Once in the ground, there is no service contract because there is nothing to service. A contractor who recommends an earth tube recommends himself out of 30 to 60% of his future revenue from that property. Denmark, Switzerland, and Germany have had earth tubes in official building guidelines since the 1990s. Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory's conclusion on United States non-adoption was blunt. The barriers are not technical, not economic. They are structural. The code pathway does not exist. Rent a trencher for a day. Dig a trench 6 to 10 feet deep and lay 100 to 200 feet of standard drainage pipe. Screened intake at one end, existing ductwork at the other. Slope it toward a condensate drain. Backfill. Done. Owner builders have been documenting this for years. $800 to $2,500 in materials and rental. The results match the academic data: warmer air in winter, cooler in summer, a furnace that runs dramatically less. The physics has been working under your property since before your house was built. Mapmata has slept comfortably for 3,000 years without an energy bill. Persian engineers were cooling desert cities underground before Europe had windows. Wolfgang Feist buried one pipe in 1991, and the building above it has barely needed heating since. None of this disappeared. It was simply never written into the code because the people who write it sell what the pipe replaces. You cannot meter soil temperature. You cannot build a $240 billion industry around something anyone can install in a weekend. The heat is already there. 6 feet under your yard. It has been there every winter you have ever paid a heating bill